Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today, will it be the Battle of Crécy or will it be the Battle of Castillon, as Hera, playing as the Britons in blue, prepares to take on Lewis, playing as the Franks in red. Now, while the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate piggly-wiggly surroundings and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, a pretty good opportunity for us to take a look at the two OG civilizations that we will be watching today. Now, the Britons, we saw them yesterday in a civilization built around supporting its ranged units. Their archery ranges work faster, their foot archers, except for skirmishers, get free extra range in castle, and then even more in Imperial. If that's not enough range for you, all of their foot archers can be upgraded to get even more range. Now, all of this, you got it, range is fantastic news for their unique unit, the Longbowman. This is a decent foot archer that comes with a massive 12 tiles of range when fully upgraded. Now, speaking of massive amounts of range, Briton Trebs are also some of the most dangerous in the game. They can be upgraded to do blast damage and have 100% accuracy against stationary units, which means if you ever engage in a Treb war with the Britons and they get Warwolf, woe unto your villagers who are repairing your Trebs because their lifespan is not very long. Now, to support their military production, Briton Shepherds, even though not sheep today, we're looking at the Piggly Wigglies, do work 25% faster. And in Castle Age, once it's time to build more TCs, expand your economy, your town centers do cost 50% less wood. Now let's take a look at the right side of the map where we've got Lewis playing as the Franks, another OG civilization. A couple of days of OG civs, I don't mind it at all. Basically, the cavalry civilization harkening back all the way 25 freaking years. Actually more years than many of you have been alive. Frankish knights come with extra line of sight, their stables can be upgraded to work faster, and all of their mounted units get 20% more HP starting in the Feudal Age. That's to support their heavy cavalry on the field of battle against pesky, annoying things like, pikemen or halberdiers that might want to snipe them. The Franks can turn to their unit, the throwing axeman. This is a ranged infantry unit similar to the Malian Gabeto, whose range can be further increased. That'll help you train as many throwing axemen as possible. Frankish castles do come at a discount, 15% less stone in Castle Age, 25% less stone in Imperial. Now, for their hungry hippo population, to feed them, Frankish foragers do work a little bit faster than normal, and they get all mill upgrades free of charge. Gratis, you could say. Those are the two civilizations. We've got the 100 Years' War. We've got so many wars in history between the Britons and the French, the English and the Franks, however you want to put it, whatever iteration of their nations were at that time, whether they looked like they do today, whether they look different, whether or not there were parts of them that were held by the other, doesn't really matter. These are two groups of people that have been at each other's throats for a pretty damn long time, up until recently, where I guess now they compete more economically inside the group of nations that they find themselves in. In any event, enough history. Oh my god, I was gonna say historical, but enough history, enough politics. Let's dive into the game. We've got in front of us attack path pretty much A to B with a small forest in the center as well as a relic, and both players sitting at 17 villagers. Let's take a look at Hera's base. Primary gold off to the side, primary stone off to the side as well. So kind of exposed, but not really on the attack path. On the attack path is the secondary stone, the secondary gold, as well as the tertiary gold. This is not good for Hera. His extra resources are very much in the forward position, and as he has spawned in the corner, we have to look at what's in the corner, which is a bit of bamboo. Okay, 2,400 wood is not that much wood for the Britons, but he does have more forests to the north of his settlement. His forest, nice. I like this forward kind of protective edge, easy to wall this in, and we'll see whether or not our Briton decides to do exactly that, as our Frank, who has seen the TC, is now going to do his loop-de-loop and see where those resources are. By the way, Lewis has seen all the gold. Secondary, tertiary, primary, first, second, third, whatever you want to call it. He has seen it, and he's going to discover, if he keeps going this way, that the rear of the base is already, by the way, walled off. Hera making use of this escarpment as part of his wall-off, as he now explores where is my enemy. Hera going a little bit north of the Frankish base. Let's take a look at that base. Ooh, very ugly. Primary gold, primary stone, both in the forward position. Gold at least protected. Like Hera has two forests, but unlike Hera, these are not exactly in the forward position. One of them is. One of them's a little bit south, whereas Hera's are kind of both perfectly placed here for a nice, easy forward wall off. Additional gold to the back, which is nice. Additional gold, to the front. Additional stone. Where are you, additional stone? Why am I having so much trouble here? Oh, pardon me. This is the primary stone. My apologies. This is the secondary stone. So both secondary stones, secondary gold, primary gold, very much in the forward position here for our Frank. And he's got a safe patch of stone and a safe patch of gold. Forests, not very really helpful in the north side and in the west side in terms of walling off. Hera, for his part, has already walled off the forward portion of his base, has double bit axe, as does our Frank. And now both players know exactly where the other one is. Hera has scouted just enough, has seen the army of his enemy heading towards his base, and so recalls his Britain scout, says, you have more important duties on the defensive right now. I know where my opponent is. I'll go scout him later once I deal with this army. For now, high octane action here as two spearmen tinkle away at each other. Looks like Hera's will escape with a little bit more HP, but I thought Lewis was going to take the high ground there and try to use that high ground bonus to negate the 3 extra damage that he took from that spearman. But even the berry pickers of these beautiful lemon bushes with the pretty blue butterflies are enough to shoo away this Frankish force, which retreats. So Lewis doing a lot of moving right now at the 11-minute mark. Oh, his spearman gets caught alone here. I'm surprised Hera didn't pounce on this. Maybe pull back this half-dead scout, and then I guess you could pounce. But never mind. Lewis, with a bit of trickery, is on the north side of the map here. He is definitely going to pounce on this. 1 versus 4. The speed with which you can kill a spearman is pretty damn good, which means you take very minimal damage. And the first kill, first blood of the game, drawn here by our Frank, who continues to circle. His spearman, by the way, coward, has run away. Hard to see what's happening behind this mill. Lewis gets a second kill, but it looks like he lost one of his 4 scouts for it, so not a bad get. A spearman and a villager for a scout. Lewis already doing some early game damage here at the 12-30-minute mark. Hera, for his part, already beginning to wall this off, realizing with this 1 scout that this is in fact open and doesn't extend all the way to the edge of the world. Is Lewis on the high ground? Yeah, Lewis is on the high ground. Lewis is taking fantastic engagements here. He has almost double the HP on his army as Hera does, and Lewis is just hugging the hills right now. He is going from elevation to elevation to elevation, and I am here for it. I love it. Will he take on another spearman from the high ground? He's definitely not getting into this base anymore. The northern portion is completely walled in. This might be a one-way trip down this lane if he goes for some of these scouts, but never mind. He's seen what looks like maybe a rock formation, maybe not. Decides against it, brings a friend, does that 1 injured spearman, and so now 2 of them are moving across the map. Lewis, we've seen this before. We've seen this before to such painful conclusion. He does not wall in his base at this stage, but like in the previous game, man, oh man, is he able to garrison his TC very quickly, but the villager got the kill. The villager gets 2 kills. I mean, this is literally Joan of Arc. We're watching. There's a hill over here, villager. There's a hill over here. No. La Pucelle, the Maiden of Orleans, bites the dust, but what a hero she was when she was alive, killing 2 scouts in exchange for her life. She will be remembered fondly and well as a heroine of the Frankish Empire. Action across the map already. Kill count 5 for Lewis, 2 for Hera. Both have killed a single villager. Spearman, no kills for you. Tinkle, tinkle, tinkling away. And Hera doing what Hera loves to do, which is taking the weaker scouts and sending them out on actual scouting duty. I know, it's kind of shocking, right? A scout actually doing scouting, as opposed to a scout actually just killing things. Lewis is down 3 villagers. He's ahead 7 army count, though. And Hera, he's about to become ahead 8 army count if this spearman isn't careful. These skirmishers do come with a juicy +3 attack bonus against spearmen, I believe. Yep. and you need to run away. Movement speed in favor of the spearman, but just barely. At this point, okay, I was gonna say maybe send a scout to finish the job, but the scouts are busy here demolishing this Britain house. Market goes up behind this though. Let's see the progress of the market. It's barely at 200 HP as this Frankish army continues pummeling it with their swords and their fists and their javelins and everything they have at their disposal. Scout is back from scouting duty. Hera has seen 1 relic, 2 relic on that journey. And so now he's going to try to explore, are there any avenues of attack that I can maybe pursue instead of letting Lewis dictate the aggressive pace of this game? Both players are heading up to Castle Age Hera off the back of 1 extra villager. What a fun maneuvering back and forth game so far. I guess he canceled the market up here, plopped it down again over here using a single bamboo stalk as part of the defense, but not a Saracen market, so he's going to have to pay the full 175 wood for it initially. And it is falling the HP until a relief column of archers makes its way over here. In 18 seconds, these archers will come with an automatic +1 range because that's just how the Britons work. And I'm assuming we're going to get to see the old Botkin crossbow combo out of our Briton. There's that extra range, 4+1. Well, I guess Hera needed the market. Yeah, he doesn't have a market, so might as well finish constructing it. It's already at that point where canceling it is not going to be very cost effective. Okay, crossbowman fletch. Oh, I apologize. I thought Botkin, he doesn't even have fletching. Okay, it's the old crossbow fletching, flotchbow situation here as our Briton is first to have knights out. Now, this might be one of the few matchups where Frankish knights, and I see a Frankish knight being trained, might actually be superior here, because usually against the civilization with bloodlines, the Frankish knight is just on par. The 20% extra HP really does only, against civilizations with bloodlines, it really only matters in Imperial Age when you get your Cavalier and then you have 4 extra HP, 144 to 140, or you go Paladin and then you have 12 extra HP, I think 12 or 16, 12. It's been a while since I've seen a Frankish Paladin, so it's a 192 to 180. But against a civilization with no bloodlines like the Britons or the Celts or the Burgundians, for example, the Frankish Paladin gets that 20 extra HP for free. By the way, what do we think of the Pole change? Why did they get bloodlines for half the price and light cavalry upgrades for half the price in terms of food cost? Did the Poles really need a buff like that? They're already such a powerful civilization, saving 75 food on bloodlines and then saving almost, I think, almost 400 food on, if not more, on the upgrades from Scout to Light Cav to Winged Hussars. Because remember, Winged Hussars, a bit more of an expensive upgrade, I believe. But did they really need that? Speaking of extra HP on Scouts, I love that Lewis is now exploring the map. Oh, look at this. Look at the vision. The entire southern portion of the map completely explored, and skirmishers get a knight. Skirmishers get a crossbowman. These Frankish skirmishers, whose shelf life pretty much ends in the Castle Age, are getting a good amount of damage done here. Ooh, but Lewis's scout bites the dust. Town center gets its first kill of the game. Not too sure that scout managed to do anything. I still see just 1 villager kill for both players as they disengage. And anyway, long story short, Frankish knights superior to Briton knights. Now, if Britain's got bloodlines, they would be exactly identical. Again, like I said, against a civilization with bloodlines, the Frankish 20% extra HP for their heavy cavalry really does only kick in Imperial. 3rd TC for our Briton. Not a bad choice when it does cost half the wood. Actually, 3 TCs for both players. Lewis is ahead, a single villager. His army is knights and skirmishers versus knights and crossbowmen. So with these kinds of armies, I feel like it's almost, we're back to feudal age. This counters that counters the other. And so micro is going to be very important, as is guarding a relic with your scout line unit to make sure that your opponent doesn't take it. Frankish monastery pumping out a monk. Do the Britons have a monastery? No, they do not. So Hera is uninterested entirely in getting relics, even though he's seen... Pardon me, he's seen the one... he hasn't seen this one? Oh my god. Oh, I mean, I love and hate when this happens. This is Hera's line of sight. How sour is that? The relic is literally right here. How freaking sour is that? It looks like Lewis has managed to kill another scout, securing himself potentially another relic as he continues to press in the front. The name of the game here for Lewis has been non-stop freaking aggression for the last 15 minutes. Ever since he got that first kill, that first taste of blood. He has just been non-stop, but not too sure a single scout should have been taking on 2 knights, even without bloodlines. Not too sure where these 2 skirmishers are going. Now, why did I say these skirmishers are basically a Castle Age maxed out unit? Because take a look at the Franks. No final attack upgrade, no final armor upgrade for their archer line units. They are not meant to be an archer civilization. Speaking of archer civilization, our Britain is going up to a 4th town center right next to the stone. I love it. Let's see a castle. Let's see Longbowmen. Longbowmen probably not going to make an appearance. Who's kidding who? Hera is a very practical, pragmatic player. And longbows are just way too expensive to upgrade to their full capacity to make them as powerful as you really want them to be. Whereas arbalesters, crossbowmen, probably the safer bet. For time number 4, 5, 3, Lewis shoves himself in here and gets a knight again with his skirmishers. Okay. Still 1 vill kill each. Lewis ahead 12 kills to 10. He's down 1 village now. So both players kind of seesawing back and forth. Who's ahead villagers? Lewis has 14 villagers queued up. Okay, I saw that he deletes or cancels rather 10 of them. Holy moly. Hera has 6. Now 5 villagers queued up. Lewis back up to 8. And so this is why the players are just seesawing back and forth. Their production is just non-stop. But Hera with an extra 4th TC should outpace the the Frank fairly soon. Monk coming home with the relic. Monk having a smoke break next to a relic. It's currently 2 relics to none in favor of our Frank. Hera does not want to give up relic control, not to the Franks. The last thing you need is to gift the Frankish Paladin upgrade free of charge. Nice pop out, or rather are forced out. No, they're not forced out, actually. It's a building still above 20%. Hera pops them out right in the face of a bunch of skirmishers, guns them down, runs away. Army counts very similar. Villager counts very similar. Lewis is ahead, army count 5. Hera is ahead, villager count 4. Total population's basically identical at 120. Lewis brings forth his villagers. Maybe waiting for some more stone. He's at 439. I believe with the 15% discount, that's about 100 stone discount. So you need approximately 588. Obviously not the exact amount, but I can't really do the decimal level math that I need to at the moment. So the Frankish castle will go up in the forward position. In the meantime, more and more subdivisions are going up. And where are these, why are these monks not returning home with the relics? What is going on? Lewis has been at 2 relics for the last little while here. Hera's going up to Imperial, though. Imperial +2 range on his foot archers. If we go up to arbalests, there is ballistics. Somebody please train some scorpions so we can see what the hell scorpions with ballistics look like for all of the civilizations. And look at that freaking range on the crossbowmen. Literally firing across Sherwood Forest here is our Britain. Come on! I'm like an old man yelling at the screen of his favorite football team when they do something wrong. Return home with the relic, Mr. Monk. Lewis has gotten up to 3 relics. I don't see any more white dots on the map, which means he is holding on to 2 more. We know the one to the north isn't moving. Oh my god, a 4th relic is... You can't let the Franks get 4 relics. Like I said, you're basically gifting them the Paladin upgrade free of charge. They're not the Burgundians. They have to pay full price, and you want to make them pay full price. And the way Lewis's build order looks right now, with 50 knights and more armor upgrades for his melee cavalry, we are for sure seeing at the very least cavaliers. That being said, we're seeing for the very least, we're seeing some kind of halberdier play out of our Britain. By the way, counter castles are up as much as I've been focusing on the relics, which means you are not thiefing Hera's tertiary gold. But to be fair, Hera's not gathering that gold either. What the hell is Hera doing? Why is he building a lumber camp in enemy territory? Lewis has killed 11 villagers to 4 at the moment. Will his skirmishers get another knight? One of the funniest things I've ever seen is a Frankish skirmisher killing a Briton knight, when it should probably be the exact opposite. How many villagers did our Frank, or pardon me, our Britain, I don't know, I'm confusing the civ so much. How many villagers did our Britain lose here? But he's chasing underneath a TC that's fully garrisoned. Both players are now in Imperial. Hera prioritizing the attack upgrades, bracer, and chemistry. His first treb is en route. Lewis prioritizing cavalier and forging, sacrificing all of his skirmishers again. At this point, what the hell do you need skirmishers for? Unless your opponent is going heavy on the pike slash halberdiers, then you might want to rebuild your skirmisher count, because if I'm not mistaken, elite skirmisher +4 against +4 against spearmen. I don't know why I'm so hesitant. You know, Age of Empires is such a game where if you make like a mistake, everyone is so quick to point that mistake out. You say it's like a +4, and then everyone's like, no, it's actually +5. And I don't mean that in like a bad way. Like, people point out like, oh, you idiot, it's +5. Like the other day, I did the short of the samurai taking on. Pardon me, I'm just gonna wait. Let's see how this goes. It looks like there's some raiding in the back of the base as well. Oh, Hera is picking off monks at the moment. And here come the halberdiers. Light cavalry. A villager, not too sure if a converted villager or if a snuck in villager. Looks like it might have been snuck in. But as I was pointing out the other day, I mentioned how in the short of samurai versus Sicilian sergeants, the samurai had that +12 attack bonus against unique units, but then somebody mentioned, oh, you forgot about the Sicilian bonus reduction. And then I think yesterday I mentioned how Palisades, I thought Palisades came with extra Pierce armor with the latest patch, but it is in fact Palisade Gates. And so, like I said, when you make a mistake in Age of Empires, man oh man, people are very quick to correct you. And again, not a bad thing at all. Hera gets caught out with a very aggressive Britain town center in the middle of frickin' nowhere. Looks like he lost the treb to a cavalier charge. And all of a sudden, things are going very, very wonky all over the map. We've got another cavalier run by. Cavaliers to the front have been cleared up, but the halberdiers are paying a price for it. House under attack. Town center stopped, but Hera's bringing even more villagers. Now, these Frankish Nightline units with their extra +2 line of sight should see the villagers, but Lewis is not reacting, which means this TC will go up unless he finds it again and negates it. Halberdiers are chasing, but not quick enough to stop the death of that one poor villager. Hera's not upgrading his crossbowmen, which is weird because that is in fact an upgrade that has become cheaper. You do save a little bit of gold now. Is it 50 gold or 75 gold, I think? Britain Castle is down, so my desire to see... Why is the TC not attacking? Hello? Hello? My desire to see Longbowmen is probably shot to hell. I mean, this is just hilarious. Look at this. Look at Lewis's line of sight as he moves in with a... Hera moves in with a square formation, but oh... Oh my god. Body blocking with villagers to the north, body blocking with houses right in front. And here comes a replenished body of skirmishers. What the hell? Did Hera somehow find a way to make Farader skirmishers? Spearmen? What the hell was that? Only 3 spearmen died in that entire charge? High ground castle? So many skirmishers and only 3 or 4 of these units died? How the hell did that happen? The HP on these must be terrible. Yeah, it is terrible. About 600 HP down. And Harris says, I need to retreat. I need to regroup myself because my rear is under attack. It is on fire. I mean, somebody just killed this outpost already. And is Lewis going to make this happen against the Britons with a Frankish elite skirmisher in Imperial Age? If so, I mean, kudos, but I don't think so. 1920 Cavaliers are being trained. This would be a perfect time to get chivalry, by the way. Makes your stables work 40% faster. Lewis, by the way, just walking around willy-nilly, killing villagers, one-shotting spearman line units. Will he see this move out of a castle right in his face? He sees something, does Lewis. Is he paying attention is the other question. Blocks the construction site accidentally, and we are going paladins, and there you go, 1800 relic gold for our Frank with 5 relics. Again, Hera basically gave a nice gift to Lewis by not contesting the relics. But we've got Arbalesters. Absolutely no armor upgrades on these whatsoever. Hera choosing to focus more on the attack upgrades. Should be able to clean this up. Another force of halberdiers do go around the castle, but these are just halberdiers. To be fair, these are just skirmishers. Tinkle, tinkle, they have to defuse. And now we've got a monk for Hera. A little bit too little, a little bit too late, as the players are just tearing into one another. But in 22 seconds, our Briton is gonna have to contend with the Frankish frickin' paladin, and I'm gonna find out if it's 12 or 16 extra HP. Again, I believe it's 12. And right now, yeah, it is 12. And Hera's rear is being gutted. The paladin is here. His attack to the front looks like it's stalled out, and he's retreating home. I mean, we've seen Imperial into GG. I guess Frankish Knights into GG is a thing as well. Absolutely epic game. Look at the villager kill count. 94-11 in favor of our Frank. And these glorified crossbowmen that attack on a 10 against your 7 armor, they do 3 damage to a unit with 192 HP. Divide 192 by 3. What is that, 64? If I'm not mistaken. You need 64 Arbalesters to one-shot a paladin, right? I'm not mistaken, right? 10 minus 7 is 3. 60 times 3 is 180. Then you have 12 left over. 4. That's how I do math, by the way. Looks like these Trebs are under attack by villagers. And even if they get the Trebs, they will die as well. You need 64. Assuming no high ground or whatever. 64 Arbalesters to one-shot a Frankish paladin. Is it any question why Hera decided to tap out with only 8 Arbalesters left? All of them here. All of them literally about to die. Well, maybe not to these two, but definitely to the follow-up. 24 Frankish paladins, 21-23 relic gold for our Frank, who just absolutely, like I said, from when was it? Minute 9, 10, 11? Lewis has just been putting on the aggression. What's Hera's line of sight, by the way? He hasn't even explored the southeast part of his opponent's base, which is very uncharacteristic for Hera. I love this castle here on the high ground, defending any kind of run-by. Not that the Britons are very much known for their run-bys. Not exactly the fastest civilization on their feet. But wow, what an absolute display of aggression out of our Frank in red. Paladins, 111 who's getting who for the longest time. These were Knights and Cavaliers against, to be fair, Halberdiers. We didn't really see very many pikemen. He upgraded them almost immediately. Crossbowmen and Knights, Monks. Wow. Hera with his usual peak APM right at the 14-minute mark. Right at the beginning of the game is Lewis with his somewhat lower APM. 12,000 extra resources. Even if you remove the relic gold, that's 10,000 more resources for our Frank. Even though Hera does take a lot more stone. Not enough for 2 castles, but enough for 1 and a little bit castles. Look at the freaking gold difference. Again, not that the Britons are a very gold-intensive civilization, right? They're not exactly like the Bohemians. They're not exactly the Turks. They're not exactly the Saracens. They don't need a lot of gold. What they need is a good meat shield and slow but sure map control. But that didn't happen either this game. A little bit more food, a little bit more wood, but really it's the gold difference. And again, you can't let your opponent just get 5 relics. And especially when they're the Franks, you've gifted them the Cavalier and the Paladin upgrade free of charge, which is ridiculous. 1 conversion apiece, 12 raisings to 2. What's the total final kill count? Not too dissimilar at the end of the day. Less than, what is that, like 23 kills difference? But really, it's the villager kill. Wow, absolute crazy numbers here, which means that our Frank actually killed a lot less military and our Briton a lot more cost effective with his cheaper units. But ultimately, what he couldn't stop, even though, yeah, look at that, he got actually almost all the bamboo here. Wow, okay, so Hera did pretty much take as much as he could. Unfortunately, you cannot take on a 144 HP Cavalier, 192 HP Frankish Paladin that is just raiding you nonstop. Hera dropped a double-digit villager count, has lost map control entirely, and his attack on the other side of the map, I don't even know how many kills these halberdiers have. 5, 0 of them villager kills. Well, there you go. So he wasn't even able to kill a single villager with this offensive force. And with that, Hera just falls way too far behind, and now he's going to be squeezed and pressed in with countless numbers of Frankish Paladins out of how many stables? 10 stables is a good amount of stables. You need chivalry, though. You need chivalry. This is like perfusion for the Goths. You absolutely need it. That makes the stables, which, by the way, already work faster. No, pardon me, they don't work fast. Been a long day. You want these 10 stables working at 40% extra efficiency, because that basically means if you've got 10 stables, they are pumping out paladins at the rate of 14 normal stables. Although it is an expensive upgrade, but again, you've got the gold because you've got the relics. You've got the relics because you have map control. And with that map control, the relic gold, and the absolute beast of a Frankish paladin, it is Lewis, who with non-stop 35-minute aggression, who takes the W. But GG in a very fun game to both players.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.